Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so Tim, tell us more about who you are and your expertise.
Okay, so my name is Tim Behling. I am the founder of the 501c3 nonprofit organization called Success Team. Of course, a South Carolina native, and just bridging back to Success Team, we specialize in educational youth development. Our three E's are education, enhancement, and exposure. And basically, we're just all dived into the youth, whether it be from our back to school book bag drive, our multi day overnight Big Brother program, college tours, our academic scholarship, or whatever else we're involved in throughout the year. We definitely want to make sure that we're bridging the gap between mentorship and the preparation of our youth, getting ready for them to come into their leadership roles as well. Hopefully, keep this thing going.
That is great. And then you talked about college tours. So
Mhm.
I know, like with the pandemic going on, how have you been able to implement that avenue?
Well, I tell you, COVID came and everything changed, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
hey, it was all good just a week ago and everything. And COVID, when COVID struck, right, it actually struck in the middle of our college tour program last year. So we had North Carolina A&T on the schedule. We had Winthrop University on the schedule to finish out. We had just visited South Carolina State, just came from Francis Marion, right? And it cut us off. We weren't able to finish it. Now, this year, we're kind of in preparation mode now to launch our College Bound to College Tours program, right? But we're in preparation to implement something that even if we can't do, all right, actual college tours in person, because we believe the implementation and experience, and of course, going back to the exposure component of things,
Mhm.
is super, super important. We appreciate virtual tours. We appreciate, anything online, the adjustments that are made, but it's a different feel being able to take a youth who didn't know that college was an option, all right, who has maybe thought about it, maybe not. It's different taking them to that university and allow them to touch it, feel it, really understand the vibe, than to have them put behind a computer screen and hopefully they catch the drift from there, right?
Yeah.
So we don't want to implement 100% virtual tours this year.
Mhm.
Of course, if our youth who are really calling for it, all right, desire that, we won't stop them, and we will definitely help them get involved. But we're venturing out now. We're trying to make sure that we get things in motion, see who's allowing us to come, seeing if there's any restrictions, whatever protocols and mitigations that we have to follow, we'll do that, right? So we want to make sure that we basically pick up where we left off, hit the universities in person. But if not, of course, we're going to have our college prep workshops. We're going to have one virtual, one in person, for those locally. And then from there, hopefully, we're able to get the ball rolling in March with our college tours.
I agree. And that's amazing. Kind of switch into more of share with us more about that vision, the success team.
Mhm.
What prompted you to write down that vision and truly
Yeah.
make it plain?
I think it all started with faith, to be honest with you, but then also a component of being disappointed and a tad angry with what was going on in my city. I'm from Aiken, South Carolina, right? I
Yeah.
love Aiken. I love the city. I'm a very proud member of or alum of USC Aiken. So I'm homegrown, right? But all of the programs that Success Team offers, I never had the opportunity to participate in.
Mhm.
Either me or my team members, our board members, in some way, shape, or form, we are the forgotten youth who have decided not to leave anybody out, which is interesting because of the No Child Left Behind campaign being pushed out so much, right? But that's more so I feel is being picked up in traditional education. With Success Team being a partner to traditional education and parents, all right, it still does take a village. So we want to make sure that Success Team is providing those components that our youth actually need, all right, to develop into the leaders that they plan to be. But it really just started out with, me understanding that I need to do something. Me understanding that I'm not trying to get to a point in life to where I look back and realize that I wasn't living in purpose, that pretty much I got up every day and I wasn't impacting somebody's life, right? I have a big belief that as long as you're doing something that's bigger than you, you'll never wake up and wonder whether or not what you were doing was pointless or did it have purpose. So Success Team really just started out as an accident of me being like interested in providing programs that I felt needed. And then I took over the years, it basically changed, right? I took on, certain responsibilities. My team took on certain responsibilities because it became, if we don't do it, then who will, right? And I believe that's what a leader is, somebody who finds a problem, discovers a solution, and allows everybody else to benefit from it. And if I wasn't able to participate as a youth and it's still not being offered, we have to come to a stopping point and say, hey, we're not going to allow this to continue. We want to bridge the gap between our youth and the ones that they're associated with on social media. Because right now, within small communities, whether that be Aiken or somewhere else, right, our kids see a lot more on their phone than they do in their backyards. And we need to be bridging the gap to make sure that their reality is definitely similar to what their dreams are.
I agree. And I really like how you said just bridge that gap and
Hmm.
then find that problem and solve it. And so,
Right.
how can volunteers, we're just going to ask that question, how can volunteers come and support Success Team?
Hmm. Well, our website just relaunched, of course. During that time period of February to November, we're in full operation mode. But the months that we do take off, we're definitely working on administrative. So successteam.org, visit the website, www.successteam.org. As soon as you scroll down on that first page, you'll see to become a member, become a volunteer, or even become a corporate sponsor icons that are easily accessible. You can click on, and we would love to have anybody who's willing to dive into our youth, join our team, join our mission, and we can start that partnership.
That's great. And let me tell you, that website is pretty
Yeah.
dope.
Thank you. Thank you. Shout out to my man, Good Pixel, Tully Murray at Good Pixel. And we don't hide no secrets around here. If you need them, hit me up. I'll definitely get the contact, and he'll get you going.
Listen, I might just sign up, get
There
me
we go.
a website, and up and running. But
Yeah.
honestly, I just want to drift into more of tell us more about the importance of mentorship. You
Mhm.
kind of spoke about it, but then
Uh,
I was always thinking about like prepare the next generation. So
right.
how can you just tell us more about the importance of mentorship?
Mhm. Mentorship, to be honest with you, is necessary throughout every aspect of life, because mentorship to me is a grassroots effort to change the world, right?
Mhm.
It doesn't matter where you're going, what you're doing, or what your future or past may compile or consist of, right? Mentorship allows you to come in, all right, learn from somebody who's been there, and give you the opportunity to be ready to progress and move forward, in a better way, right? Like mentorship to me, I've never personally had a mentor, so it's weird for me to even be in this space to understand the importance of it. Like I come from a single parent household to where my mother, she was the strong leader. So I learned mentorship. I learned how to be a man from a woman's point of view, right? But I have had people pour into me. And the thing about mentorship though is the fact that all we're doing, okay, is giving the youth access to knowledge that we wish they had.
Mhm.
My goal, all right, right? It doesn't matter what age you are. Let's say right now I'm 26, okay? So if I'm mentoring a young male, 15, 18, 20, 21 years old, my goal is to make sure that the information that I have at age 26, he's able to have it at a much younger age,
Yeah.
because that's how we move the culture forward. That's how we move society forward, right? By not holding back info, by not holding back knowledge, by not holding back access to people.
Mhm.
Okay. I never want to be an individual that you can't have access to, due to the fact that I understand. Okay. And I've been in that position of being a youth who didn't have an advocate for them, that didn't have, somebody who could answer the questions that they had. And there's only two routes that you can take at certain points, especially us as men. We can either pursue, all right, manhood and growing up and being a good leader, or we can go left, right? And
Mhm.
the patience that we have is very thin. So if it's a thing to where if we don't have the access to the answers that we want to get, because I've never met a young male who didn't want to grow up and be a great leader in his household, profession, or community. But I have met young males who have been met with so many hurdles, so many closed doors in their faces, that they've decided, man, hey, the street's gonna take me, right? So if y'all don't want me, the street's gonna take me. So
Mhm.
like I'm going to the route that I know, because I'm just tired of hearing no's, right? So like mentors, it ain't about being perfect. It ain't about having everything right. It's about really giving access to these youth, no matter what age. And when I say youth, honestly, I'm pretty sure there's a male out there that can give me advice that I can learn from in any aspect of life, right? All it is reaching back and telling somebody, come on, you can come with me, right? I'm gonna get you where you want to go. I understand it. I see you having the desire. I see your determination. I see you trying, right? And even if not, it's just like, hey, I see value in you as a person in your life. Okay. I want to show you that it's good over here, right? The grass is greener over here if you take this route, because mentorship on the top end too. It can go either way. You have mentors that may lead down the wrong path. You have mentors that can take you to wherever you want to go positively, right? Us as the leaders, us as positive individuals, we got to make sure that we're opening those doors, because they're going to end up somewhere. They just need to come to our address, though.
I agree. And just that humility
Hmm.
off the bat, just like, hey, I see you, you know, that's a big
Right.
thing. It's like, I see you. That is the biggest thing.
That's it. Because that's really all it takes is being seen to change your life, right? You never know how much, like a short conversation. And I've had mentors to where I don't even know their name, and it was a quick exchange. Mentorship isn't on such a pedestal that we put it on to where it's mandatory for it to have as much consistency as we say it's requiring,
Mhm.
right? It's good if it is, but I was at the gas station the other day, and I see an elderly man. He's pumping the gas, and like automatically you assume that's his vehicle, right? But after he pumps gas, he hits the door 2 times, boom, boom, right?
Mhm.
And the car pull off, and I'm like, golly, like somebody just stole this man's vehicle, right? and but I asked him about it, and what he schooled me on is the fact that, no, young man, that's my wife's car, right? Every Sunday I fuel up her vehicle and I make sure that she's good to go. Now, for a person who hasn't seen, all right, a man of that caliber
Mhm.
enter a woman's life and treat her like that, that's something that I wrote down in my playbook. To where when it's my turn, all right, to be a leader of the household, I know that's something that I looked up to. That's something that I want to implement. And apparently, if his wife is good enough to receive that treatment, mine is as well, right? So we want to make sure that understanding that mentorship doesn't have to be anything consistent. It's just having that conversation. All right. And sometimes it is, sometimes it's necessary. I'm not necessarily saying just to drop info and leave, but sometimes mentorship doesn't need to be on the pedestal. He took out 3 minutes of his day and gave me a word of advice, a word of knowledge, and it changed my life.
That's so good. And you spoke about a playbook. Can you
Hmm.
just dive into that a little bit more?
Yeah, most definitely, man. Like every Hall of Famer still got their playbook, right? Well, no matter what sport you in, like this is a sport. Being in the nonprofit realm, being in any industry, really, you got to treat it as a sport. So where you're measuring your stats, you're measuring your improvement overall, right? But also too taking notes, making sure that you are writing down things that you're learning, making sure that you are understanding like what progress you're actually making, seeing where you are, seeing where you're going. It's like they always say, you mentioned it earlier, write down your vision and make it plain,
Mhm.
right? The best way for you to bring something into life, best way for you to bring something into reality is putting it down on paper, right? And then allowing yourself to take those thoughts in, because sometimes we don't necessarily know we have the answer, or we don't know we have the path until we see it for ourselves. And the best way to do that is to put it on paper, put it in your playbook, and then start working towards it day by day to implement that. That's really all it takes, and it could just be a quick. I always have my phone on me, not because I'm texting nobody or on social media like that, but because I'm taking notes, right? That's my playbook. It's some things you could be riding down the road, right? And a thought just pop into your head, or somebody give you a gem, or somebody give you some advice, or you just see something that sparks something in you. Like, make sure you're writing that down in your playbook. So when it's time for you to get in the game, you ain't got to worry about what play you running. You already know.
Right. You already had that game plan. You just need
Already.
to take off that jersey and be like, I'm ready.
That's right. Put me in the game, coach.
Yes, put me in the game.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we're going to switch over and just from a male's perspective, how do you
Uh-huh.
balance with being a boss, you're a CEO,
Yeah.
business owner with
Mhm.
self-love.
Right. And that's it's super important, to be
Mhm.
honest with you. And that's something that I feel like everybody has to realize and come into on their own time. For me, it it really started last year with COVID. I know COVID had a lot of hurdles, a lot of things that we had to overcome. It
Yeah.
wasn't the prettiest year at all, but I do believe that COVID gave us enough time to sit down and figure out who we are,
Mhm.
right? And that's what happened to me. um, I was able to have more time to cook more because the restaurants was closed, right? And if they weren't, I mean, you can't really trust it, but it is what it is, right? So I cooked more. You know what I'm saying? I was putting on lotion. That's big. Hey,
Okay.
that's really
Okay.
really big. All right. Hey, when you busy, you go. Sometimes you run out the door, put on pants. It's like, man, golly. But nah, and everything that's small, but it is what it is, right? Just having that time to yourself, to pray. You know what I'm saying? Meditate, really think inside your thoughts, having that time to enjoy your movie, having that time to yourself or whoever you decide to give that time to
Yeah.
is really just taking off the cape, right? Taking off that superhero mask
Mhm.
and really just making sure that you're giving back to yourself. Us as males, when you become somebody who is aspiring to accomplish something bigger than you,
Mhm.
right? We're already defined as the providers in every aspect of life that we're trying to accomplish success in. It's less about what can I do for me and what can I do for them, or what can I do for this, or what can I do for that. So as a male, and that's something that I'm learning from seasoned individuals as well. You have to have that time, to yourself, just to unwind, to be in your thoughts, to relax and fill up your cup. Because the saying goes, you can't pour from an empty cup, right?
That
So like
part. Yes.
it is what it is. Like us as males, it is very healthy, for us to sometimes watch the game. It's very healthy for us to get on and play Madden. It's very healthy for us to work out. Very healthy for us to stretch. Very healthy for us just to be around other men and converse and just have that time. It's very healthy for us to sit alone sometimes. It's very healthy for us to be in the midst, all right, to get the attention from our significant other. It's
Mhm.
very healthy for us to sometimes really vent, because we don't necessarily do that either. Like we like to hold things in until we're able to figure it out ourselves. But sometimes you don't even have to vent to somebody else. For me personally, when I'm talking to our Heavenly Father, I talk out loud, especially if I'm in the room, because sometimes the voice that you hear that you need from God is yours, right? And sometimes I don't necessarily understand fully how I'm feeling until I hear it myself. Treat yourself like a separate entity,
Mhm.
right? And make sure that whatever's going on in your life, you make sure that you're good to go. So like that self-care, that self-love, being one with yourself, being comfortable who you are, but also, all right, putting in time to become the person that you're aspiring to be,
That's good.
right? That's something that makes sure that you're healthy, because mental health is also, right,
Mhm.
wanting to be somebody and then being able to put in the work to become that individual,
That's so
right?
good.
It's really, really healthy.
That is so good. That is wholeness.
Hmm.
Okay. That is really wholeness.
That's right.
And I wanted to ask, like, what's your favorite recipe?
Everything pancakes now. Pancakes. I spent years trying to get some golden brown pancakes, and I was finally able to do it, man. I was finally able to do it. Took the time to read some cooking books and everything like that. And it was just like, okay, so cool. Now I can. Now my pancakes look like McDonald's pancakes and everything. I'm good to go with that.
Healthier McDonald's pancakes.
That's right. That's right.
And so, what can we expect from you in the future?
Growth. To
Hmm.
be honest with you, I feel like the only thing a leader has to be consistent with is growth and progress. All right, because we're gonna change. Doors are gonna be open for us. Things are gonna move. Things are gonna progress. Things are going to come into our lives that we didn't necessarily plan for or expect to come into our lives. Right. So for us, our goal is to ensure that success team stays around for a long, long time. All right. And we want to continue to impact our youth. because what we're doing now isn't what we want to do, right?
Yeah.
It's what we can for right now. All right. It's what's needed in the community. But when Success Team started, we always had the goal, all right, of making sure that we were putting things in motion to have our own academy, right? To have our own building, have our own curriculum to where our youth can definitely come full time and ensure they're getting what they want. All right, getting what they need, getting what's important to them, getting that mentorship, right? But for me personally, it's just growth, right? I want to continue knocking that door to these opportunities, continue bridging the gap between individuals like yourself, continue making those partnerships, all right? Continue being open to the opportunity and the possibilities that my wildest dreams could come true in any day.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Tim, for jumping on this interview and really showing, just sharing
Hmm.
knowledge, gems, just
Yeah,
playbook, you know.
yeah.
So, how can the audience connect with you
Hmm.
and learn more about Success Team?
Hmm. That's right. That's easy, right? You can connect with me on Instagram at Tim Behling, Facebook at Tim Behling, TIM, B as in boy, EHLING. Of course, visit the website www.successteam.org, successteam.org. All right, visit the Success Team Instagram, just strictly Success Team, one word with three underscores after it, and things of that nature. Anything at all. You can I'm not hard to find. Just look me up. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, the name doesn't change. Success Teams doesn't either. Feel free, shoot me an email, shoot me a DM, shoot me a message, whatever you're comfortable with, and I'll definitely be sure to respond and reciprocate that energy.
Okay, sounds great.